Hello, it's Jamie J. I am the CEO and founder of Bottleneck Distant Assistance and your host with Life with Bottleneck, where we help stop the bottleneck in your business and your life. We're talking to Zander Sprague today, and I can't wait for that introduction coming soon. I'll tell you a little bit more about him, what our topic is of the day, but until then, you have to wait another 38 seconds to learn all this crazy stuff on the way to stop the bottleneck in your business. See you in 38 seconds. Well, hello, people on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Thank you so much for jumping in and listening to this episode of Live with Bottleneck, where we help stop the bottleneck in your business and your life. My name is Jamie J. I am the host, and I'm also the owner, founder, and shareholder of Bottleneck Distant Assistance, where we help stop the bottleneck in your business using unbelievably certified and dedicated distant assistant. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started in the program today. We are going to be talking about epic choices and epic life, how to plan, achieve, and enjoy the journey with our special guest, Zander Sprague. He's a speaker and author, creator of Epic Begins with One Step Forward programs of Zander Sprague, LLC. And why, oh, why is Zander here today? Well, he's an internationally acclaimed public speaker, author, and licensed professional clinical counselor. His mission is to help millions of people make the epic choices that create an epic life. Drawing on his decades of work experience with companies of all sizes, Zander guides teams to achieve epic results. He is a member of the National Speakers Association and author of 3 books. Epic Begins with One Step Forward, Plan, Achieve, and Enjoy the Journey. We're going to be talking about that today. Making Lemonade, Choosing a Positive Pathway After Losing Your Sibling. Man, I want to talk with him a little bit on that because I have lost my siblings, both of them, as a matter of fact. And why don't they cry? Understanding your living child's grief. As a professional speaker for over 2 decades, Zander has enthralled audiences with his presentations. His deft, what a freaking cool word. I love that. His deft ability to talk about epic choices leading to epic lives, as well as sibling loss, make him sought after. So without any further ado, please allow me to introduce you to the one and only Zander Sprague. How are you, sir?
Hey, Jamie, thanks so much for having me in today. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, I'm super pumped. I think this is going to be a blast chatting with you. I wonder, before we talk about this topic here, epic choices, epic life, how to plan, achieve, and enjoy the journey, before we really jump into that, I want to talk to you a little bit about losing a sibling. And I don't want to, last thing I want to do is start something off on a sour note. But in all actuality, if it's anything like what happened to me, losing both my older brother and my younger brother, at the time, very tragic, still hurts to this day. But it's actually helped form. I've really taken a lot of positivity out of it, and it helps me to really appreciate every day and every relationship that I've been in. And I wonder if maybe you could touch on that real fast before we get into this topic, because it's
absolutely. You know, I mean, I lost my older sister 25 years ago. She was murdered in her apartment in Chicago, and obviously, as you know, Jamie, devastating. Not something I expected to ever go through. However, I chose my own positive pathway through that. And in the last quarter century, not only myself, but my family has done lots of things to celebrate Lucy's, the rainbow that was her life, and do great things in her name. And I can tell you, it's so much more gratifying to do things in her memory. Like I wrote my books because I want to help other sibling survivors. unfortunately, when someone dies, and Jimmy, I'm sure that you experience this, people ask how the parents are, but no one asks how you are.
You know what? The whole thing was kind of a blur. My brother passed away in a motorcycle accident. My older brother passed away literally after 5 days after he was born. So I didn't have that connection with him. But you mentioned rainbow. They call me a rainbow baby because he was born April 29th, 1969 at 11:40. I was born April 29th, 1970 at 1:40.
Wow.
Crazy. And so they call me a rainbow baby for that very reason. But then my little brother at the age of 33 got hit on his motorcycle and passed away. And you're right.
So
that
sorry.
whole thing is, I was so mad at God. I was mad at people. Why did they take me, and all these different things. And you're right. I hated, I got to the point where I hated people saying, I'm sorry, or I'm sorry for you. And I just started freaking out. So I had to learn how to deal with that. And it took a while to process, but now I'm so blessed that I got to spend so much time with him, and he was my best friend. And I'm so blessed that I was able to go through that, because now I have I think you can empathize with me. I have a certain amount, I want to be in the now. I'm here with you.
Absolutely. And we could focus in on the dot that was the end of the rainbow, or we can choose to celebrate all those great things about our siblings. And the longest relationship we have in our life is with our siblings. And understandably, you and I lost out on really important chapters in our life, but that doesn't mean that our life ended. An important chapter did. But hey, buddy, you and I are here today, and look at what we're doing. We're both doing awesome things.
Oh, amen, man. Yeah, it's definitely, I recently lost my mom, and I'm like, whew, there's sometimes you feel like, oh, you're going to call, and they're gone, right? It's just it's life is what it is. And it's how you deal with it. Right. So I want to jump into EPIC begins with one step forward. I want to really learn what motivated you to write that. What motivates you to maintain this mindset?
Well, it's interesting. I think all of us we have epic things that we want to do in our life, Jamie. And I was on an epic journey. I went to graduate school at 45, got my master's in mental health counseling. I said, I want to be a licensed professional clinical counselor. I live in California. That required 3,000 hours of internship. I finished my internship in February of 2020, was all ready to take the licensing exam, was ready to go out and speak to crowds of thousands. And all of a sudden, we had a pandemic, and we couldn't leave our houses. Everything shut down. And I kind of had this moment where, what am I going to do? All these plans I had, this epic journey I'm on, and I have no idea what to do. But I had this as I'm sitting in my apartment, and I'm kind of depressed, and I'm binge watching shows, and probably eating more food than I should because I'm bored and stuff. I had this epiphany that EPIC begins with one step forward. And as I looked at my own life, I said, that is so true. I've been so lucky to do so many epic things. And each of those started with one step forward. And, I'm just so excited to help other people and businesses realize that they can have their epic, and they just need a plan to achieve it.
So very motivational. Absolutely. 100% unequivocally agree with you. Challenge. How do you take that first step if you're in such a funk? You don't even want to get out of bed in the morning. And and maybe I can make an underlying comment. We work so hard. Many of the people that listen to this are in a massive growth phase. What comes along with growth? Unknown, right?
Absolutely.
Friction points and another hurdle you got to jump over, and all this stuff, and it starts building up, and now you've got 18 hands working around trying to do all this stuff, and it's overwhelming. I just want to go to bed and close my eyes and just rest. I just want to get away from it for a while. But how do you take that epic first step?
I think first of all, we tend to, like, small business owners, whatever. I know I'm one. There's so many things that I have to do. But here's a funny thing. I have yet to meet the person who can write an email with their left hand and be writing a book with their right hand. You know what I mean? I joke that I'm a single core mind in a multi-core world. All of this different stuff coming on. But the fact of the matter is we can only really do one thing well at a time. And I'm also I really think that structure, when we have structure, there's comfort in that. We understand what we need to do. So, I'll give an example. I've run marathons in my life, and
congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really excited about that. And in doing that, I was handed a training plan, and it made it so much easier because all I had to do, I looked at it, said, all right, today is Wednesday, go run for 30 minutes. No problem, I can do that. Then I was done with that for the day. I didn't have to worry about it. I got to move on to the next things. We talk about structure and people go, oh, I don't like structure. We, as from a mental health standpoint, we like structure. It makes us feel comfortable. It's predictable. I know this. Now think about this, Jamie. When you need to go to the store, you know how to get there. You don't really think about it. You're not really stressed about driving to the store. But imagine you got into your car and you just started making lefts and rights and going straight or whatever. Maybe you'd hit the store, but maybe you wouldn't. Maybe, and so I think as a small business owner, we do have so many things to do, but if we create structure in every day and we know what we're working on and when we're working on it, it becomes so much easier because you're like, I know what I need to do.
That's a great analogy. If I say I'm going to go to the store, and most likely maybe I have a list, if I'm doing really well, I've learned that I don't go to the store hungry and I don't go to the store without a list. Otherwise, bad things happen.
Yes.
But I have a general sense. So I don't really believe too much in goals. I think goals, this is just me talking, I believe in objectives. I know where I want to get to, because goals, once I achieve them, then what? And with my objectives, I have a bunch of objectives in a row. Now, that's just my feeling, and that's how I think about it. Other people believe in goals. I'm right there with them. But in this, with regards to this analogy, my objective would be to get to the store. Now, I know there's two routes I can go. One is usually less traffic, but longer. One is more traffic, but shorter. So it depends on my mood, which way I want to go. But I know pretty much I have that. And I think just by knowing what that objective is, now you can plan, okay, I have a right turn, I have a left turn. Just like in business, if you have an objective, and please challenge me on this, but if there's an objective, I know where I want to get to. Now, how do we get there? And map it out.
Right. Well, and again, when I'm talking about people's epic dreams and stuff, there are these epic things that we want to do. Some people have always wanted to travel to, let's say, Australia, or maybe you are in your job, but you really know that you're not that happy, so you want to make a change, or you're like, gosh, if I only had this degree, I'd be able to do more. If I got the certification, then I'd be able to do X, Y, or Z. And it always, it's always tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. And, but I think when you have, if you want to call it an objective, a goal, then you say, all right, I know my end point for this. Now, yes, just because you get to that end point doesn't mean that everything stops. It's just you have some closure. As a mental health professional, I just really believe in this Gestalt theory of closure, that we feel comfortable when we complete something, right? And I know for me personally, if something's open, it bothers me until I can close that circle. If I'm supposed to send you an email and I'm halfway through it, but I get a phone call and I don't get to it, I feel kind of agitated that I didn't finish that email. I just want to finish it up and get it done to meet that objective, right?
And if you do little things like that and keep missing them, for me, you said agitated. I get really stressed. Like, I have all this stuff. Oh, I have more stuff. And then a phone call. I have more stuff.
Right. And then, and what happened, I think what happens is we look at all these different tasks that we need to do. And we're like, oh my God, we literally can't even move. We just are stuck because we're like, where do I start? And that's where that one step forward comes, where you go, all right, I got all these different things. I really can only do one thing at a time and do it well. So here's what I'm going to do. And you make that checklist. Now, I spent the majority of my internship doing counseling in a school setting, in a high school and a middle school. And a lot of my clients were having challenges with homework. And I came up with this idea of creating structure for them. So what I told them is, all right, what courses are you taking? List them out from your least favorite to your most favorite. Now, every night I want you to look at what you have for homework. Choose your least desirable homework and do that first. So, and estimate how much time it's going to take. And I think that's really important for small business owners. Look at the tasks you have to do and say, all right, what's the total amount of time I have to do stuff? How long will that take? How long? And then you can really kind of plan out your day. Say, all right, from 8 to 8:30, I got to be doing emails. Then I'm going to transition and do some of my social media posting. That's going to be about 45 minutes. And then I want to go on and do X, Y, Z. And the reason I say start off with your least desirable, it is human nature to avoid the stuff that is uncomfortable or that we simply don't like. So if you get that out of the way, now you're working your way towards the stuff that you like and that is frankly easier. And I think you find a lot more success. And there's also a thing about doing everything in the same order really helps you to be able to just mentally check stuff off, because you're like, I know I start off with email, then I go to social media, then I go to prospecting, then I go to whatever. Does that make sense?
Perfect. Because we have so many of us, when we reach overwhelm and there's just a million things, we need help. And we need to figure out, like, I don't know how, I can't even tell you how many people. I've been doing this 15 years. I cannot tell you, it's hundreds of people at least who have said these words to me. I don't know where to start.
Yes. And that's where the one step forward here, Jamie, where you are just literally make a list of what you got to do and choose one thing. Because what happens is you find, well, that wasn't too hard. And then you move on to the next one. And there's all of this success that you have, right? Celebrate success, not failure. We have so much good that's going on in our day. We somehow conveniently forget it. It's what I call the 97-3 rule. That's in my book. And I talk about how 97% of your day is probably really good. And up to 3% isn't as good. Acknowledge that, but realize that so much more of your day is going well. Look, Jamie, we woke up this morning. We had something we had something to eat. You just had some water. Good for you, right? I mean, that's awesome. Yeah, 3% may not be good, and some days that 3% is pretty bad, right? But as I was talking about with the high school students, I asked them, I said, all right, for a lot of them, math was not their favorite subject. I know it wasn't my favorite subject.
Me too.
Said, what would you do if you got a 97 on your math test? Universally, they're like, oh my God, I'd be so excited. I'm like, absolutely. Would you celebrate that? Oh my God. I'd be so excited. My parents would be so proud. I'd be so proud of myself. Like, would you be complaining about the 3 points that you didn't get? Are you kidding? Oh my God, that would be great. Well, why don't we do that in our own life? Right? I mean, look, if you and I had a barbecue and we were, hanging out for like 4 hours, beautiful sunny day, great food, and it rained for 2 minutes, and then someone said, "Hey Jamie, how was the barbecue?" "Oh, it rained." Really? There was 3 hours and 58 minutes it was great, and you're focused on the 2 minutes that it rained? That doesn't make sense.
I love that. Oh my, it's so true, right? You can think about it this way too. Now that you said that, if you're passionate about something, find whatever it is you're passionate about, and that will be that 97%. Because no matter what you do, you're still going to find stuff, like you said, that is, I got to walk through this mud. I don't want to get muddy. But on the other side of that's a beautiful beach with a beautiful ocean, right? That's the 97. But there's things that you can look at, I think, during the challenging moments as well. So do you have any advice for us going through the challenging aspects of it?
Well, yeah, I absolutely. I mean, first of all, the only people who can say with 100% assurity that they haven't failed are people who haven't tried.
Amen.
And we're all trying. You're going to make mistakes. Stuff you're going to do isn't going to work. But that's okay, because there's so much learning that goes on. And hey, that's not how to do that, right? Or that route to the store wasn't the right one for me to take. Okay, no problem, right? And when it gets challenging, focus on the stuff that's gone right. Acknowledge that it isn't going great, but look and celebrate what is going right, what you did do right. Because I think all too often, and it's funny. I guess also being a history major, I look at history and psychology, and I kind of tie it all together. I grew up in outside of Boston, so I grew up in New England. And New England, of course, is where the Pilgrims were, and the Pilgrims, were Puritans. And there's sort of this underlying thing in New England. I think it sort of is in a lot more of the U.S. than we'd like to say, that we somehow have to suffer in our life in order to sort of make it to heaven or whatever, right? Which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous for me to say that. But as a Red Sox fan my whole entire life, right? That is like the greatest example of 1986, one strike away from finally winning the World Series.
Billy?
Buckner lets it go through, we blow it, right? But I think somehow collectively, that's our lot in life. We're supposed to get close to what we want, right? In 2004, when they won the World Series, I watched that final out. I was so excited. But here's the scary part, Jamie. I was like, you would think I'd be jumping up and down. But I sat there because I'm like, what calamity is going to befall me, because I cannot have this kind of happiness. That's ridiculous. So I'm literally on my own epic mission to focus on that 97%, because I am not letting the 3% win today.
I love that. I just shared this with my wife on the chalkboard. Actually, I've got a little Billy Buckner story, and I could tell you that not a baseball fan.
Is it going to hurt me, Jamie?
It almost got me kicked out of Wrigley. It was bad. My wife got on the phone and played a joke with me while I was there. I was on a business trip, and I said, I got to go see Wrigley Field. I've never been. I got to go see it. So I went by myself. Everybody else went to this network, and I said, sorry, guys, I got to go see this ball game. And I showed up like third inning, but because I took around and I said, hey, my wife, Sarah, I'm in the pro shop, you want me to get you a jersey or something? It's some cool stuff in here. And she goes, yeah, ask them if they have a Billy Buckner jersey. And I said, oh, okay. I had no idea who this was. I'm not a baseball fan. So I asked the guy, I said, hey, do you have a Billy Buckner jersey? And my wife's on the phone. The guy goes, and it's almost like the music stopped. Like, everybody turned and looked at me. I'm like, what? And they it was not a friendly look. I'm on it. I'm like, they weren't joking. They weren't trying to be polite, but hey, it was not I left and I had to go to another store to buy a jersey. And I'm hopping on. She goes, did you really say that? And I said, yeah. She goes, oh, you didn't know Billy Buckner? I said, I don't know who Billy Buckner is. She's like, oh my God, it was brutal.
Oh, that's so funny.
But long story longer, it was a fun trip. Beautiful, awesome, loved it. But the other day, this is a cool story. So and here's how smart I am. I forgot his name. Albert Einstein. He was leading a class. And so he goes up on this board and he goes, okay, guys, okay, I want to make sure that you see how simple life is. Okay, all right? And these are all a bunch of mathematic whizzes. Right. It's like, okay, 9 times 1, 9. 9 times 2, 18. He goes through it. 9 times 5, 45. 9 times 8, 72. 9 times 9, 91. Everybody goes, no, it's 81. It's 81. He goes, so you mean to tell me I got 9 right and 1 wrong, and you're focused on the one thing I got wrong? I thought it was an incredible lesson. And I'm like, wow, that's genius, because that's what everybody does. They focus on that one thing, but there's so much more that they can be happy about being successful.
Well, but here, since we've been talking about baseball for a second, okay? Think about in baseball, you could get elected into the Baseball Hall of Fame with a lifetime batting average of over 300, right? Now I'm not taking anything away, but that basically means that you were successful 33% of the time, and you're one of the all-time greats.
Insane.
I don't know about you, but if I could be considered successful for getting it right 1/3 of the time, that would be pretty great, wouldn't it?
Man, I would fire myself if I thought that like so many people in corporate America, you made this big mistake, you're fired. But they were right 99 other times.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, I mean, just in our own, and not even our business, just our regular life.
Yep.
If we got it right 1/3 of the time and we're considered like Hall of Fame great, there's not a lot of pressure on that for our own personal lives.
Yep.
I mean, if you're working, let's say you work 9 hours, that means that you got to have 3 hours of productivity, and you could have 6 hours of non-productivity, and you had a good day. Seems pretty good to me.
Oh, don't worry, boss. I'll just be there from 9 to 12, and then I'm out for the rest of the day.
Absolutely. Exactly. 10 to 1, and then, I need to sleep
10 to 1, and I'm done.
Exactly.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, Zander, I want to appreciate your time. We're coming to the end of this particular segment, and I want to say thank you so much. But how do people get in touch with you to learn more about you and buy your book?
Well, okay, so the book is coming out on February 9th, and I really want to encourage people. I know I'm biased. It's a really great book. You can go find it on Amazon. If you look up Zander Sprague or Epic Begins with One Step Forward, you'll find the book available. You can go to my website, zandersprague.com, and we're whipping through all of the different ways to get a hold of me. Frankly, it's Zander with a Z, ZanderSprague. If you Google me, I'll come up.
Perfect. So LinkedIn, there's Facebook, there's Twitter, and you're seeing it's Zander Sprague, SPRAGUE, Instagram, YouTube. You're everywhere.
I'm trying to be. I want to make it easy for people to find me. I got so much enthusiasm to share with people.
Well, there's no doubt in that. That's for sure. So thank you so much. Is there anything else you would like to say before we wrap today?
I want to share just these 2 words that I think are really important for people to remember. Not yet. So powerful. Has your book come out? Not yet. Am I a best-selling author? Not yet. Has Jamie found you the best distant assistant? Not yet. Because I think not yet leaves the possibility open. A no just sort of shuts it down. Not yet is great. And as entrepreneurs, not yet is so powerful, because in those times you said where you feel overwhelmed, not yet can help you.
I love it. It's coming soon, but not yet, as if it's already in the motion.
Yes.
I love that, man. Zander, you're amazing.
Thank you, Jamie. It's been I've just had a great time getting to talk to you.
Yeah, this is fantastic. I'm all motivated now.
But I did my job well.
Yes. Can you hold on one second so I can wrap up? Okay, 1 second. I'll be right back with you in the green room. But Zander Sprague, seriously, I'm kind of pumped. We talked about epic choices, epic life, how to plan, achieve, and enjoy the journey. Now, Zander is a speaker. He's an author. He's a creator of Epic Begins with One Step Forward programs of Zander Sprague, LLC. You can go learn more about him by going to his website, and his website is zandersprague.com. Holy crap, how cool was that? That was a fun interview. So check him out. Follow him all over the place. He's literally everywhere out there. I would highly encourage you to reach out to him. February 9th, as of the time you're watching this recording, you're watching it live now. February 9th is just around the corner. Today is actually January 26th, but if you're watching this in evergreen, go to Amazon, type in Zander Sprague, and you'll find more about the Epic Begins with One Step Forward. And I can't encourage you enough. Go check it out, get motivated, take that first step. Believe me, it's epic. So I want to say thanks again for tuning in. If you want to watch more episodes to help you learn how you can break through the bottleneck in your business today, go to Bottleneck.Online/BTV for Bottleneck Television. And that's actually our YouTube channel. You can subscribe to there. And the other thing I want to tell you about is, let me hide that out of there because it always gets in the dang way. Quit repeating yourself. Quit repeating yourself. How today's business leaders are using systems and processes to grow their business the right way. My book just launched several months ago. Having a lot of fun with that. You can go to quitrepeatingyourself.com to learn more about the book and how you can get it there. If you missed my conversation with Mark Hirschberg, you should listen to that episode. It was a ton of fun. We talked about creating your own toolkit, or creating your career toolkit, and it was a lot of fun. Mark is freaking sharp. He graduate at MIT, and we talked about the essential skills for success that no one taught you. Coming soon to your earbuds, we're going to be talking to David Chrysler, Reclaim Your Life and Grow Your Business. We'll be discussing, having that conversation on Wednesday, February 2nd, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much. My name is Jamie J, host of Live with Bottleneck, CEO and founder of Bottleneck Distant Assistance. Hope you have a great one. And like I always say, as you see up there, create your own ripple. Have a great one. We will talk to you soon. And yeah, be kind, all.